Just ahead on CTV News.
It's a big day for the city of Bowie as it is their special election for the mayor's race. I'm Jonathan Hunter. Coming up, I spoke to several voters who shared with me what their top concerns are.
And
candidates running for Bowie mayor are making their final pitch to voters as they head to the polls. I'm Katara Jones outside of the Bowie Gymnasium, and I'll have more from this special election race coming up on CTV News.
plus, the county council signs off on DeCara's law. These stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening, this is CTV News for April 7th. I'm Michaela Newton.
And I'm Brandon Williams. Thank you for joining us. For our top story, it's a big day for the city of Bowie as they're having a special election to pick their next mayor.
And this was a competitive race with 8 names on the ballot and 1 write-in candidate. CTV's Jonathan Hunter kicks off our team coverage.
I'm here at the Ken Hill Center in Bowie. I spoke to several voters who shared with me what brought them out to the polls. One by one, a steady group of people came inside to cast their ballot. Within the first 3 hours of the polls being open, more than 330 people voted at the Ken Hill Center. Those who arrived early say the process was relatively smooth.
Yeah, it was quick and easy. And I knew who I was voting for before I got here. So it was easy. Give my name, get in, get out.
Thank you for coming, Mayor. Happy Tuesday.
This was a competitive race. Marvin King was happy the information on the candidates was accessible.
The access to the candidates was pretty good this time, which usually seems to be pretty complicated. But I was happy to be a part of it.
We asked voters what are some of their main concerns.
Candidates that cared about the youth and candidates that cared about what was going on with the kids in our area.
Tax issues, the prices of the water going up. Seems like the less you use, the more it's gone up. You know, and we know there's issues that need to be fixed, but also it's all about pricing. It's all about how Bowie spends our money.
And for Glenn Stewart, he has a simple message for everyone who is thinking about sitting out this election.
You don't have a say unless you vote. It's pretty simple. You know, you can have all the opinions you want, but if you remain silent, it doesn't do you any good, so you vote.
I'm now going to toss it over to Katara Jones, who is standing by at the City of Bowie's Gymnasium, who continues our team coverage.
Oh, that's right, Jonathan. It's a big day here in Bowie as voters will decide who the next leader of the city will be in this special election race. Now, Bowie hasn't had a new mayor since 2019. That's when Tim Adams took office, and he served 2 terms as mayor. Adams was most recently appointed to fill the vacant District 4 seat on the county council, which brings us here to this special election Bowie mayor race. Now, what makes this race unique is that there are 3 candidates currently serving on the Bowie City Council. There are also 3 candidates under the age of 40. Now, Bowie has more than 58,000 residents. With a city this large, the new mayor will have to tackle several issues, including affordability, education, and bringing new economic development into the city. Now, CTV News caught up with several of the candidates here at the Bowie Gym as voting gets underway.
Whoever is mayor next is going to have a lot of challenges on their hands. We have got a lot of issues with retention right now. We are trying to make sure we keep police officers, trash collectors, critical employees. We're having a harder and harder time keeping them in this area, mostly because of affordability. They're not able to afford to live in the area. So that's going to be a major issue for the mayor.
The biggest issue right now is taxes, property taxes. In the city of Bowie, we are about to enter into our budget cycle. And what's top of mind for people is making sure that their property taxes stay low because it is so expensive right now.
One of the biggest issues definitely is the retail. They want to make sure that they are not carrying the burden of our tax base right now, because right now 44 million of our dollars coming from property tax make up the approximately $131 million budget. So of course they do not want the increase in property taxes and not get the services that we need from the city city of Bowie.
So an issue that has been prevalent for about 5 years is the brown water issue that is from the city water. And I think it's imperative and very, very important right now more than ever to just really take charge and try to mitigate that issue, because our residents, they pay so much in property taxes and we go through a lot just for them to get the short end of the stick.
They were worried about potholes. You know, how am I going to help when I'm mayor? Am I going to, will I be able to do it in 2 weeks? I'm not a politician, I have to be honest. I cannot say I'm going to do it in 2 weeks without knowing what is the reason why we are still having potholes.
Whoever wins this race will fill the remainder of Tim Adams' term until the next election in 2027. Both polling locations will close at 8 p.m. Now sending it back over to Brandon and Michaela at the anchor desk.
All right, thanks, Katira, and Jonathan for that team coverage. Again, for residents hitting the polls later tonight, there are 2 different sites based on the district you live in.
Residents in District 1 and 2 can vote at the Ken Hill Center, and Districts 3 and 4 can vote at the City of Bowie's Gymnasium.
Well, Prince George's County leaders have passed a package of bills unanimously aimed at reshaping how immigration enforcement is handled locally. Legislation bans the use of privately owned buildings to detain people for civil immigration violations. It also limits where immigration enforcement can take place on county property while requiring clear public guidance and signage. One bill prohibits certain law enforcement officers from wearing face coverings during public interactions, with some exceptions. Another measure allows residents to call police to verify the identity and authority of anyone claiming to carry out immigration enforcement.
We're just hearing hearsay, he say, she say, and right now we're asking for all information to be centralized.
History is going to write what happens in this moment, and that we are going to be on the right side of history with our community.
We stand with all of our neighbors and our residents in Prince George's County, and we are all united in this effort.
And the council will also work with a nonprofit to track county residents who may be in ICE custody. Meanwhile, the council also passed a historic resolution in honor of 19-year-old Dakara Thompson, who was found dead after she went missing in August of last year. The council signed CB2 with Dakara's family present, showing their support by wearing pink and holding pink roses to commemorate the moment. The bill prohibits any mandatory waiting period before filing a missing persons report. It also requires law enforcement to accept reports immediately, mandates public notice that no waiting period exists, and calls for formal written policies to ensure the changes are implemented across the county.
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling ecstatic about it. It was tough. It's very tough. But, you know, I have to be strong for her, you know, strong for my family, and I'm just pushing through.
And Dakara's mom, Carmen, says she hopes to soon get legislation passed at the state level.
And a 9-month manhunt for a suspect who threw an infant down a flight of stairs has finally come to an end. On your screen is Kevin Morris, who is now in custody and charged with attempted first-degree murder, second-degree child abuse, and assault charges. The incident happened in June of last year. After throwing the child, Morris barricaded himself inside the home. Later, he opened a window and threw the infant outside into a trash can. He is due back in court on Friday, April 24th. Maryland could face billions of dollars in liability from child sex abuse claims filed against the state. More than 12,000 lawsuits have been filed under the Maryland Child Victims Act, which removed limitations for survivors to sue over abuse that happened decades ago. Some lawmakers warn the state's total exposure could reach as high as $60 billion. State leaders say many cases are still working through the courts, and final cost to taxpayers remains unclear.
After 14 years, the House of Delegates voted 92-39 to give final approval to Senate Bill 323. The bill limits the number of offenses that youth can automatically be charged in adult courts, in addition to raising the age when youth can be tried as adults for most crimes from 14 to 16. The approval came after a 75-minute debate between Republicans and Democrats, and Governor Wes Moore is expected to sign the legislation.
You're watching CTV News. I'm Brandon Williams.
And I'm Michaela Newton. Still to come, a federal judge has sided with Maryland in a fight over college admissions data.
After the break, find out why the judge is blocking the Trump administration from students' personal information. We'll be back in a moment.
You gotta believe without seeing. You gotta keep going, keep breathing. When you face a day, it feels like you're gonna break. You gotta believe without seeing. You gotta keep going, keep breathing. You face a day that feels like you're gonna break. So lean on the ones that love you, the guardian angels above you, and think about when peace just another color. Ooh, just another color. Just another color.
The drug scene in Maryland is changing. Fentanyl and xylazine are being added to street drugs, and you may not even know it. Xylazine is not even intended for humans, and fentanyl is an opioid 50 times stronger than heroin and contributed to over 80% of overdose deaths in our state. Anyone who uses drugs, even occasionally, is at risk of overdose. To learn more, visit stopoverdose.maryland.gov or call or text 988.
Welcome back. The family of a 33-year-old Prince George's County woman has filed a wrongful death lawsuit after she died on a flight out of Dulles Airport. Portia Brown of District Heights worked in the Department of Defense and recently received an award for her work just 4 days after she boarded a flight out of Dulles to Asia with some friends but never made it home. The lawsuit states Brown was suffering from a medical emergency while on the flight, but the crew failed to act appropriately. According to her attorney, the flight crew responded in accordance to their policy, Brown would have survived.
Yesterday, County Executive Aisha Braveboy expanded her Strike Force 311 initiative to help clean up Prince George's County. Members of the Strike Force were in Landover yesterday picking up trash and debris while also sharing how the initiative has afforded them a second chance. One returning citizen shared how he was once homeless but is now using this opportunity to make a difference.
Not only am I able to bring myself back into a place of giving back to my community, but I can pull myself back up from those cracks and demonstrate that I'm not trash, and neither are the men or the women experiencing homelessness. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and it's a pleasure to do it every day.
And if you know an area in your neighborhood that needs cleaning, you can make a service request to 311.
And the price hikes at the pump have continued to rise as the conflict over in Iran intensifies. As of today, the average price for gas in Prince George's County is $4.19. Meanwhile, the state average is $4.16, according to AAA. CTV took to the streets to see how the soaring prices are affecting residents on their day-to-day commute.
Because we work and there is not enough money to even feed your family, and like this one, I have to put $30 for like 2 days work. It's not, food is already expensive, and this is expensive. How are we going to survive in this, economy?
I have to drive for what I do, and I just got to bite the bullet and do it, and it's an impact to the bottom line, but it's cost of doing business. The first week of March, things were okay, but then by the end of March, it was, diesel was up $2 a gallon from where it was, which is almost a 50% increase.
If prices continue to rise, we will likely break the record for the highest recorded average price in Maryland set back in 2022 at $5.02.
A major energy bill clears the Maryland Senate, setting up a high-stakes showdown with the House. The Senate has overwhelmingly approved the Utility Relief Act in a 43-4 vote, aiming to cut electric bills. The House has already passed its own version with key differences between the two plans. House leaders say the Senate version favors utility companies and weakens consumer protections, while both sides promise relief of about $150 a year for customers. The bill now heads to conference committee where lawmakers have just 6 days to reach a deal before the end of the session.
A late session scramble in Annapolis tonight. The House revives and passes a controversial eviction bill, but the clock is ticking. The House has again approved the good cause eviction bill in an 84-41 vote, requiring landlords to give a reason before ending a lease. The measure was revived just days ago after appearing dead. The bill now heads to the Senate, where it has stalled before and faces an uphill battle to pass.
A federal judge is siding with Maryland and more than a dozen other states in a major fight over college admissions data. The Boston judge is blocking the Trump administration from forcing universities to turn over years of race and gender admissions data. They granted a preliminary injunction calling the rollout rushed, raising concerns about whether the Education Department can even manage the data. The administration wanted 7 years of records to enforce the Supreme Court's affirmative action ban. But states warned the demand could trigger penalties for errors and overwhelm schools.
Still to come on CTV News, tornadoes, a wicked witch, and a scruffy dog named Toto can only mean one thing.
That's right, The Wiz is coming to a venue near you. And if you're ready to ease on down the road to get a ticket, stick around to find out how.
We are women first, but women with disabilities last.
During a military exercise, we crashed and I broke my neck.
When I was in the Air Force, an accident changed my life. I couldn't have imagined the injustices I would face.
Every day, women like me go to the doctor for annual checkups for conditions like breast cancer. Early detection saved my life. But women with disabilities face a cruel reality: inaccessible medical facilities and equipment.
In the 25 years since my injury, I have not seen a gynecologist. There's not one accessible OBGYN in my community.
I found lumps in my breast. I went to a doctor's office I was told was accessible. But when I got there, I couldn't get through the front door.
I don't know where I'd be today without access to testing. Our veterans deserve better. Help PVA fight for access at pva.org.
If words were enough, I would help you bear your burden. I would watch each child of yours grow strong and true. Teach them to read and to write and to sing, so that their voices be forgotten nevermore. If words were enough, I would sate your hunger, and you would know you are my sister, my brother, my child. If words were enough.
It's so hard to predict a sick kid who just keep getting sicker, but we needed to be together as a family. My family is my entire life. My family means the world to me.
When we're together and we have support from Ronald McDonald House, we can be a little stronger. They provide food and a place to rest your head, and they will help you through every step. That's what gets you through every day when you don't know how else you're gonna make it.
It makes you feel like you're not alone.
Watch out, winter is over and black bears are popping out for spring. The Maryland Department of Natural Resources is reminding residents to expect sightings in your neighborhoods this time of the year. While they might be a sight to see, they are urging you to keep your distance. And if you get too close to a black bear, be sure to make loud noises to scare them off. For homeowners that want to avoid attracting them to your yard, remember to remove your bird feeders and keep your grills cleaned.
Attorney General Anthony Brown has issued a warning on investment scams across different meta platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Scammers are increasingly using deceptive advertisements and deepfake technology to lure investors into high-stakes scams to defraud them of their savings. When browsing social media sites, it's important to identify red flags such as guaranteed return on investments, platform hopping, and celebrity endorsements.
Restaurants, nail salons, and even Uber drivers. It seems like everywhere you shop, a kiosk prompt will automatically ask customers to tip. Well, a new report from point-of-sale service provider Toast says that tipping remained flat in the fourth quarter of last year and hasn't seen much movement in the last 7 years. Delaware had the highest average tip percentage overall at full-service restaurants, while West Virginia claimed the crown at quick service restaurants. It's important to note cash tips aren't included in this survey.
And a groundbreaking twist of The Wizard of Oz is coming to D.C.
Yeah, CTV's Anaya Falcon spoke with the actress playing Dorothy in the Broadway show and shares what The Wiz is bringing to the National Theater.
This show is very energetic.
22-year-old Phoenix Lafreniere plays Dorothy in The Wiz, a unique twist of the original 1939 Wizard of Oz. Lafreniere says although the storyline is relatively the same as the original, The Wiz is different.
The fact that The Wiz is an all-black cast and was written by all-black people, it comes through very strongly.
Part of that is due to the music and the choreography.
There is soul, funk, jazz, hip-hop. There's black references and a lot of black joy in the show. And I think that is one of the big things. Like it makes you want to stand up and dance.
Lafreniere says in the Broadway show, they're bringing a new light to The Wiz that's never been seen before. She says playing such an iconic role is an honor.
I originally was cast in the ensemble, understudying Dorothy. And then a week into rehearsals, I got the phone call that actually they wanted me to play Dorothy. And so it was a whirlwind the first month being here of just oh my gosh, what's going on? And now I'm playing Dorothy and I have to step into this.
A challenge for a new Broadway artist that requires her to perform 8 shows a week. She says it's making her stronger as an artist, but most of all, she hopes the work pays off with their impact.
And I think leaving the show, I want people to feel like they related to at least one of the characters on stage and that they have hope for their future and that home is wherever home is to you and you can get back there.
In D.C., I'm Anaya Falcon, CTV News.
The Wiz runs tonight through Sunday, but for tickets, visit BroadwayAtTheNational.com.
Don't move, Simon Buggs has our Tuesday sports page.
That's right, and today he's giving an exclusive interview with the newest female football coach in the area.
Don't go anywhere, sports fans, because coming right up, I got the opportunity to talk to one of the first female head coaches in a certain private school's history. Find out who she is and what school it is after the break.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Can you see anything different as a pill? No. No. You don't know?
Fentanyl is being mixed into everything now. There's only one thing that will save somebody's life. That is naloxone nasal spray.
Fentanyl, it's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
Why would drug dealers put a lethal dose of fentanyl in drugs if they know it's so harmful?
Really just all about the money.
I just didn't realize that one pill could change your whole life.
More kids should know.
Okay, everyone, I'm really excited about today's sports page as I got to talk to a woman who's making waves over at Baptist High School. Take a look. It's a new era for the Riverdale Baptist High School football squad as a new coaching regime is in place. And one of the coaches that is helping take the Crusaders to the next level is associate head coach and special teams coordinator Natalie Mitchell. Mitchell is one of the first female head coaches in the school's history, and I sat down with her and talked to her about her journey to get to where she is today. I want to start from the beginning. How did you get into the world of football?
All right, thanks for having me. So my kids started out, when they were 7. Well, initially at Bowie Bulldogs at 7 playing flag. Then I moved to Urbana for a little bit and signed up my youngest, and they were playing tackle at 5. And I said, because I went to pick up my oldest equipment, and they were like, no, you got to pick up equipment for both boys. I was like, no, but he's 5. And they were like, yes, no, you got to pick it up for both boys. I was like, oh, okay. And so he was playing tackle at 5. So you can imagine how they had to move the kids and put them in positions, because at 5 years old, you have no clue what to do. So I've been around football with my kids ever since, my oldest started into it when he was 7, and my youngest, and been the team mom for all their sports, whether it's baseball, football, basketball.
And along with being not only a coach, but a mother as well, has helped Mitchell a lot in mentoring the next generation.
Being a mom, you kind of see things that the coaches don't have time to not pay attention to. They don't really lock into those things. So I can see when a kid is not in a good mood, or he's not feeling well, or his energy is not the same as it was the day before. So then I'll take a second out to just ask questions. Are you all right? What's going on? Your mood is kind of a little bit different. Or I'll say, hey, I'm here if you want to talk, because these teenagers don't want to talk to you when you want to talk to them. So you kind of have to leave the door open. Hey, if you want to talk to me, just come talk to me. I'm always here for you. And then if they need something, whatever they need, their asthma medicine or snacks or anything like that, I'm always their go-to person. I keep stuff in my book bag so they can always just go grab it, and they know that I have it. And then really just building that trust, because I had to build that trust with my kids, right? Because it's like, why are you here? But my own kid. But even with these college, high school football players, it's just building that trust. And then once you have that trust, it's like it just takes off from there, because they know they can depend on you.
Before becoming a part of the Crusader family, Coach Mitchell was previously at Flowers High School, serving as the Director of Operations as well as Special Teams Coordinator during her 9 seasons with the Jaguars. And she took me through what it took to build up Flowers into the powerhouse as we know it today.
So it comes with a lot of discipline, right? So, communication with the parents, communication with the kids, communication with the faculty. You got to have buy-in from your community. So when we have the buy-in with the folks in the building, that's great. You have the buy-in from the parents, that's even better. And then you have the kids who trust you to get, say, hey, I'm going to get you to the next level. And we tell them what our focus is. Our focus is to make sure, yeah, you can do the X's and O's, but our ultimate goal is to get you to college. So whether you're playing football or you're going to a trade school, or, you need help with your financial aid, we're always that resource for them. So they trust us, and then more kids came to Flowers because of that. Because we're going to stay with you for the 4 years that you're at Flowers, and even the 4 years that you're in college, because once you're, at the time a Jaguar, you're going to always be a Jaguar. Here we're at Riverdale. Once you're over at Riverdale, you can always be, a part of us. So we're going to take you from start to finish, and whenever you need us, we're going to be there to help. So it's just, getting that buy-in from the community, the administration, and then the trust from the kids is really a key to building a successful program.
And stay tuned for part 2 of my interview tomorrow with Coach Mitchell, where she touched on how she heard about the job at Riverdale and what she wants to see out of this team going forward. And that wraps up your Tuesday sports page. Simon Bugg, CTV Sports.
What an amazing story. Thank you, Simon. Now let's take a look at our 3-day weather forecast tonight. Even though it's been warming up, we'll drop to a low of 32, and we're under a freeze warning until tomorrow morning, if you can believe that. Tomorrow is going to be sunny with a high of 53. Thursday night, a bit frosty. We'll have a high of 60 and a low of 42. Friday, it'll be nice and sunny with a high of 72 to kick off the weekend.
And for our community calendar tomorrow afternoon, the Oxon Hill Branch Library is hosting an introduction to West African languages. This session will focus specifically on Yoruba people as a case study. This event takes place from 5 to 6 p.m., but for more information, contact the branch at 301-839-2400.
And do you have a story to tell? You can reach out to our CTV News tip line.
Give us a call at 301-386-4085, or you can send us an email to ctvnews@pgctv.org. As always, we look forward to hearing from you.
Our time is up, and we certainly thank you for yours for joining us today.
We'll see you again. Have a good night.
Standing for the cause of liberty is as old as our country itself. It is the American story, a story of fallible people, united across the generations by grand and enduring ideals.
The time has come to reaffirm our enduring spirit, to carry forward that promise that all are equal and all deserve a chance to pursue their full measure of happiness.